Great. Yeah, my name is Daniel, and I'm the lead developer of StarLogo Nova. We've been working on this project for, well, it's been many years for StarLogo Nova itself, but this new JavaScript version has been in the works for about 2 years now. We're really excited about what it means for us in terms of the ability to work on a wider variety of devices. We're trying to make it work well on iPads and Chromebooks and old computers, new computers. And now that Flash is becoming harder and harder to get to work, I think it's exciting that we can make this transition. So I have a couple of just changes to show everybody. I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with the old version of StarLogo, but I'll assume so. And just kind of go through and show you the ways that this new version is different and hopefully improved compared to the old one. I'm starting off here at the My Projects page, which has been completely revamped. Now you can see a list of your galleries on the left, and here's my recently saved projects on the right. You can filter your projects if you're looking for a particular one, and it's much easier to organize them now as well. You can just click on this galleries. Wow, I have a lot of galleries. But you can click on the galleries button and then just check the boxes that you want your project to be moved to. Now I'll go ahead and open this project. So this is my 5,000 fish test project, and I'll just click setup here, and here I have 5,000 fish swimming around. So one of the great things about the new version is just how much faster it is on a lot of computers. So I'll get my 5,000 fish to swim around there. And one of the things that is now possible is, I'll turn that into a 50,000. If you have a really high-powered graphics card, then this kind of thing is possible. 50,000 fish all sitting there on my screen. Oops, there they are. So we're just excited about what that means for the average computer, and knowing that a lot of times the computer department might get the really fancy computers, and then the science department gets last year's cart of Chromebooks or whatever. And hopefully this is going to be able to run simulations just fine. So starting off here with one of our first changes is the way that the widgets work now. You can click Edit Interface to be given the Create Widget menu. And from there, you can choose the kind of widget that you want. And I'm going to choose a line graph because it's really exciting. And I'll lock the interface for a second. Back to 5,000 fish. And I'm just going to add some graphing commands and show a couple of things that have changed with the editing environment as well. So first of all, you'll notice that the drawers are color-coded. I'll go in Interface and look for Add Data to Line Graph. And I'm just going to, what should I graph? The count, the turtles within 20 steps of the middle of the world with, well, with size equals 1. And, oh, sorry, that should be the y-axis. And then on the x-axis is going to be the clock. Okay, good. Go. Go. I have to set up first. There we go. So as the fish swim around, the number of fish who are around the middle are changing. And one of the really cool things that has been added here, I'm hovering over the line and it's showing me what the data is at that particular point. I can also view this data as a table.
Oh.
And if I want to, I can click this button here and download that data as a CSV file, which I can open in Excel and do my own graphing or analysis that way. I'm not sure what happens if I click download here. Yeah, still gives me a CSV. Okay, great. Let me turn this off. The next really important change is just the way that we edit the breeds. You don't have to click edit breeds up here in Spaceland anymore. Now you come right down to the tabs, and there's just a nice button here for adding a new breed, cats. And not only that, but we've built trait editing right into the breeds as well. So see this little show traits button? I can expand that, and now you can see my default shape, color, and size for this turtle breed. So I can change it from being clownfish to being bears, and I can make them be size 2 by default. And, oops, hide the traits. Run code. And let me come up here, click setup. Now I have a bunch of bears. So I didn't have to change my code at all to configure the basically default style of these agents. And that means that the world page is going to be a lot simpler for most projects because you don't have to set every single trait of every single agent that you create over here anymore. Finally, the kind of big change that we've been working on for a while is the ability to import your own shapes. So in order to show you that, I'm going to go not to my projects, but to my assets. And I've already uploaded one, but I'm just going to show you how I create a new 3D asset. So I go over to Create, 3D Model, and it pops up this form to fill in. So I'm going to go and choose, this isn't the one I want, animals. I have this is just the dog model that's already built in, but what I've done is taken the files that are associated with this OBJ file. So that's an OBJ file, and then there's an icon and this SLB file that determines some things about its shape and size. And I selected all of them and added them to a zip file. So now I have that zip file ready to go, and that's the file that I'm going to upload. So I click open, and then it automatically uploads it. And then I have some controls here. You're supposed to make the agent face to the right. So that's heading 0. If it comes in with the wrong orientation, you can use these controls here to kind of spin it around to make it point the right way before you upload it. You can also make it a little bigger, a little smaller, move it up, move it down. So I'm going to title this, whoops, dog, upload test. And you can choose a thumbnail picture if you want for people who are, or for yourself when you're looking through your custom shapes to recognize it. But if you don't choose a file, it'll just take a picture of whatever you have here, and that's what I'm going to do. So this is my sample dog shape, and the creator is StarLogo TNG. And tags, I'm going to say animal and dog. And then create my asset. Your asset has been saved.
Daniel, will other people be able to access that asset, or only if they upload this project?
That is a great question. So by default, your assets are all private. You're the only one who can see them. But if you click on one, this is like your asset previewer. And so you can see it. You can edit the description. See down here it says privacy setting private. I can request public. This is the only part of StarLogo Nova that has moderation by the StarLogo team. So if you request that an asset be made public, then it goes into a moderation queue for us. And we'll take a look at it, and if we determine that it is appropriate and to the best of our knowledge, not stolen from somewhere, then we'll approve it, and then it goes into the asset library that everybody can search. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick.
But Daniel, if you put this project in your public gallery and I open it, will I be able to download that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry for yes. So what I can do is let me see, set my shape to, and instead of using built-in shape, I'm going to use an uploaded shape. I'm going to, okay, add more. So now here are all of my assets. If there were public assets, which there aren't any yet, I'll be adding some over the next week or two, then they would show up here too, and you could do a search and find them. But I'm just going to click this plus button and add it to my project, and then I'll just close out of here. So now it's chosen the dog for me. Now run code. Hopefully this works. Oops, what's going on here? Or refresh the page and try it again. Okay, it didn't save the dog for some reason. There we go. Edit camera. And here I have 5,000 dogs. Because this project is only private, no one can see this dog shape. But if I added this project to my public gallery, submit, there we go. Now anyone who goes to this link can open my project, including the assets that are in my project. If they want to, they can remix this project, and that means they'll be able to use that asset. But my asset is never going to show up in their assets search box. So I still kind of own that asset. And in fact, if I delete the asset, then if someone has remixed my project and they go into my project and try to load it, they will not be able to load that asset anymore.
So there's no way to download a copy and upload it so it becomes part of your asset set?
Correct. Oh, you know what though? Now that I say that thing about you won't be able to use it anymore, I think we actually may have made it so that if you remix, that it basically remixes that asset for you as well.
Okay.
And gives you kind of persistent access, but you can never find it again. But if you've used it, it's not going to go away. I said the wrong thing earlier. This whole feature was made by an MN student who thought through the process very carefully.
Okay.
Yep. So that's it. Those are the main updates to the new version of StarLogo.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Can I answer any questions about it?